And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Dave Clemens. And Dave Clemens writes, "Good morning, John and Rob." Obviously, Rob's not here today. "So I was listening to you guys talking about Michael Keaton's pictures, and you said you expect his role to be really small. I hope it's larger. I mean, why would somebody like Michael Keaton appear in a movie if it's only for a small role? Thanks." All right, man. Thanks a lot for sending that in. Appreciate that. And yes, we have been talking a lot lately. I mean, let's face it, ever since last year, when word first came out that Michael Keaton was going to be appearing in the upcoming Flash movie as Batman, there had been a lot of talk and speculation about how big or small this role was going to be. Now, I have contended, and I think for very good reason, I have contended all year that Michael Keaton is clearly going to be playing a small, if not cameo, maybe a little bit bigger than a cameo. Maybe he'll have a couple of scenes, but he will be playing a small role in this movie. You guys know I've been talking about that for a long time. And one of the biggest pieces of evidence to me that Michael Keaton was going to be playing a small role in this movie is when a short time ago it came out that Michael Keaton wasn't 100% sure he could actually be in the movie. He talked about, I've got some scheduling issues. I'm also really nervous about the COVID protocols and blah, blah, and I might not be able to be in it. And my whole reasoning and logic was, how could Michael Keaton have a big role if the Flash is getting close to shooting the movie and they're not even 100% sure if Michael Keaton can be in it? Because if Michael Keaton has a big role in this film, which he doesn't, at least that's what I said before. If Michael Keaton has a big role in this film, you would have to 100% know that Michael Keaton's going to be in it, because if he's not, and you're basing this whole major character on him, then that means you got to go back to the drawing board and completely rework your script and completely rewrite the script, right? So to me, when Michael Keaton said that he wasn't sure that he could actually be in the Flash movie, to me that was like 100% confirmation that Michael Keaton was going to be playing a small, almost cameo, maybe a little bit bigger cameo role as Bruce Wayne in Batman. Not even sure you're going to see him in the Batman costume. All right. So we talked about that right up until yesterday. All right. We talked about that right up until yesterday. With me saying, Michael Keaton, I'm telling you, I mean, I had no insider information, but I'm telling you, Michael Keaton's going to have a really, really small role. Right? We're with me? We're on the same page? All right. Well, this is where things get interesting. So yesterday, after we finished our show, sometime later in the day, I got contacted by a friend of mine who's closely connected to the situation. Now, I'm going to say this. This person I know has not always given me 100% accurate information, although their accurate information that they fed to me has been quite good. I was the first one to tell you guys a couple of years ago that the Nightwing project got shelved. I was the first one to tell you guys that. She was the one who told me that information. So this is that same person. So anyway, this person reached out to me yesterday and said, "Hey, John, saw a clip from your show, saw you mentioning that Michael Keaton is going to be playing a relatively small role, and you've been saying that for a while, but it's not a small role. You're going to see him in the costume." And they said this: "His role is at least as big as Sean Connery's was in Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade. It's that big. His role is at least as big as Sean Connery's was in Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade. It's that big." All right. Let's unpack this for a second. First of all, let me say this. Despite the fact that this is coming to me from a person who has given me bang on accurate information before, I have to give the same disclaimer that I give for other stories that come from other outlets. I am not Variety. I am not Deadline. I am not the Hollywood Reporter, okay? I am John's Movie Reviews .fart, okay? I'm a nobody freaking YouTuber that has certainly not the level of credibility that real outlets have, okay? I say that all the time about rumors that come from other places. I'm going to be consistent and say it about myself, all right? Do not take a scoop, because you know I stay out of scoops. So do not take a scoop coming from me as gospel truth. If what I'm saying is true, it will eventually pop up in Variety and the Hollywood Reporter, okay? Let me give that big, huge disclaimer. That being said, I don't like it when people I know are contacting me to tell me that something I've been saying for a year is wrong. Because I've been telling you guys for a year, Michael Keaton's role is going to be small. It's going to be like a cameo. Like, blink and you'll miss Michael Keaton. It's like, wait a minute. I blinked for a second. Was that Michael Keaton? Right? I've been saying for a long time, Michael Keaton's going to be small. And then I got somebody contact me and say, hey, John, I appreciate that and everything, but his role's actually pretty substantial. Now, he's not the lead of the movie. But when you use words, again, like his role is at least as big as Sean Connery's was in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, it's that big. Like, when she says that, I got to go, well, wait a minute. How big is this role? Like, now, when you go back to, like, Flashpoint, right? When you go back to Flashpoint, and I'm not talking about CW's Flashpoint, like if you go back to DC's animated Flashpoint film, right? You know that Thomas Wayne was a fairly significant character in the role. And this is obviously not a direct one-to-one translation of that, okay? This was never a direct translation of that. But it could stand to reason that if it's a loose adaptation of that, then maybe Michael Keaton, his role, his Bruce Wayne, is a more significant mentor type role or guiding figure. Maybe an Obi-Wan. Maybe that's a good comparison. Maybe it's like an Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of role, where Flash is our Luke Skywalker. Flash is clearly our lead. Flash is our Luke Skywalker. The story surrounds Flash, but one of the auxiliary characters that is there maybe and has significant role to play is going to be Batman. So listen, again, I just tell you guys information that gets passed on to me, and I cannot vouch or verify that this is 100% bang on the money. You should not take it as such because, again, I am not one of the legitimate trades. I'm some nobody frickin' YouTuber, okay? I'm a nobody YouTuber. I am just letting you know what I've been told. That I was wrong. That Keaton's going to have a small role. Again, I never said I had insider information saying Michael Keaton's role was going to be small. I said just as a fan, I'm speculating. But I felt pretty good that Keaton was going to have a borderline cameo role in this. And apparently, it's going to be significantly bigger. So, and that we are going to see him in the costume. And that it's going to be significantly bigger. Now, whether this turns out to be true and 100% accurate, we will have to wait and see. But I'm sure we will find out soon enough. Because if we are already getting like set pictures leaked, and my goodness, we already saw Ezra Miller in a set picture leaked. We already saw the new Supergirl in a set picture leaked. We already saw Michael Keaton on set in a set picture leak. We're going to get more leaks. So I don't think we're going to have to wait until The Flash actually comes out, if it ever comes out. I don't think we're going to actually have to wait until The Flash comes out to know for sure if this is true or not. I think we're going to know pretty quickly. Because if leaks keep coming for the next couple of weeks and couple of months, and Michael Keaton keeps being seen on set, well, that pretty much answers that. That means that my guess that he was going to have a relatively small role was definitely wrong. Now, if we don't see any more leaked photos from set of Michael Keaton, and we see a whole bunch of other leaked set photos, but none of them have Michael Keaton, then it may mean I was right the whole time. That it is a small role. But again, just for those of you just joining us, I was contacted yesterday by a contact of mine, and what she told me was it is a significant role. Once again, this is the key phrase to me. The role is at least as big as Sean Connery's was in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So we take that as it is. Is that true? Is that not? I don't know. But here's the thing. I am never only going to tell you guys information I get that backs up my guesses and predictions, right? If I get what looks to me to be semi-reliable, if not very reliable information that contradicts my guess or prediction, I'm going to tell you that too. I'm not going to keep that hidden from you and only tell you stuff that makes it look like my guesses are always right. And what I got told yesterday was that my guesses were wrong. It's going to be a major role. So I don't know. So that brings up the question, though. It brings up the question. What's the story going to be? I mean, when we were just assuming that Michael Keaton had a small cameo, probably Ben Affleck with a small cameo. And by the way, I haven't heard anything official about Ben Affleck, just so you know. But when we were just assuming that those were going to be relatively small cameos, it meant really the story about the Flash could really be anything. If you just have Keaton making a cameo in 1 or 2, maybe even 3 scenes, then that doesn't really affect the direction of the movie very much. You could have a movie about anything and Michael Keaton drops in as a cameo of Bruce Wayne, right? It could really be about almost anything. But if it's a serious role, and it's significant, and it has major impact on the film, and he has a significant amount of screen time, well, then that brings up the question again, okay, so what is the basic story here? And by the way, our friend Ben Rayner sends in a super chat badge in the live chat. Thank you, Ben. It does make it a more interesting question and a more interesting topic of conversation. If Bruce Wayne's in a lot of this movie, that narrows down the field about what this could be. Will it be more reminiscent of Flashpoint? I mean, we always knew that this upcoming Flash movie was going to have Flashpoint influences. We knew that. Maybe it's got heavier Flashpoint influences than we were anticipating. I mean, I don't know. Right now, it's still a big ball of speculation. So we will find out soon enough. The question is for you guys. What do you think Michael Keaton's role is going to be? I mean, obviously he's Batman, but what size, how major, how significant, how substantial of a role is Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne going to be in this Flash? I have speculated and guessed for a year that it was going to be really relatively small. Now I'm getting information that it's probably a lot more significant than that, which is true. I don't know. Question is for you guys. What do you think it's going to go? Which way do you think it's going to head? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.